So now we're going to discuss in what sense is there a contradiction between Marx's theory of the social origins of socialist consciousness and the social origins of Marxist theory. What modifications in Marx's theory of human nature as the nature of labor would be necessary in order to overcome this contradiction? Although Marx was a major contributor to socialism, he does not have a proletariat background. Marx rarely, if ever, stepped foot inside a factory or visited a slum. A lot of Marx's impressions of workers come from Dickens' novels, which actually, historically speaking, generally portray English industrial life more similar to the late 1700s and early 1800s rather than the mid-1840s, by which time many social reforms had occurred in Britain. This is kind of like writing a modern-day account of race in America by saying how bad slavery is. However, the concept of production and labor can be extended to include the type of work intellectuals engage in. There is a contradiction between Marx's concept of individuals as social beings and his belief that when individuals withdraw within themselves, there is social alienation. If individuals are so alienated, how are individuals that are so withdrawn into themselves able to open up and become social? So, there's this tension between humans as social beings and asocial beings. Labor, as a productive activity, is the determining factor in how humans view themselves. However, if humans are genuinely asocial, then there is a problem in placing such great emphasis on labor. Even under capitalism, a system that rewards selfish passions, the struggle for recognition persists. Individuals with money seek to be honored by others. An egotistical individual seeks recognition from others, but has no other way of achieving this recognition without demanding it from others. This individual will not receive this recognition because he is not worthy of respect. There needs to be a reciprocal relationship between respect. There needs to be a reciprocal relationship because respect needs to be shown in order to receive it. The ability or inability to participate in recognition begins early on from birth. The struggle for recognition begins within the family. The family exists to prepare individuals for production. There are certain psychoanalysis assumptions that need to be considered. There is the assumption of transference of projection. Individuals project onto other individuals elements of their early relationships with parents. There is this emphasis on the power of tradition. A second assumption states that when individuals try to create something new, they repeat the old. The third assumption is that an individual's sense of self develops very early in his or her life. Marx does not overcome the conditions that explains one's need for dominance. The proletariat is not the bearer of generally radical needs, but of needs that merely reproduce the symbolic logic of the society of which it is an element. Thus, proletarian class struggle is a reactionary struggle that is incompatible with the generally revolutionary sexual, ecological, and political struggles for a new, post-instrumental mode of symbolization. I agree with this previous statement. After many years, people in communist countries struggled and were far from being treated fairly, and thus ended up revolting against the communist government. There needs to be a theory of human nature that gives equal weight to love and hate. A just and sound society cannot be created if humans try to continue to dominate nature. Marx is too radical in stressing this Western industrial world view. The industrial world also needs to be seen as part of the problem. There needs to be a form of society that realizes the importance of creating technology that meets our human and non-human needs. All in all, Marx had a great vision of equality, and his ideas should not be dismissed.